mate. I'm not going to kill you.
Exactly. Yeah. And feel free to ask questions about things other than the game too. Now's a good time to ask if you have questions about acting, if you have questions about story, if you have questions about being a performer in general, all of those things. We can answer whatever we can answer.
Okay.
Bring it.
What was your journey into voice acting?
That is an interesting question. What was our journey into voice acting? I think for both of us, it came as an organic offshoot of our acting careers. For most actors, I think these days, for most actors, you start in a particular lane, but you don't limit yourself to one or the other. You might start in the theater, but you're open to TV and voiceover and commercials, and whatever lands in your lap, or whatever you audition for and then get, that's very rarely lands in your lap, is the direction that you go in. And so for both of us, we both had careers as actresses performing all over the place, and this just came from another audition, just specifically for a video game voice actress role.
Yeah, we didn't seek out video game work only, but it's been a part of it. And I think we both like accents and voices, so that helps, but it's not like it's what we were set out to do only.
And I do think there are some people who begin in that lane because that is their passion, but I also think most of those people will not necessarily limit themselves to, I'm only going to go after voice acting in video games. They'll probably be, I'm going to go after voice acting across the board. It might be video games, it might be animation, it might be voiceover for commercials, any of those things.
We don't need microphones, right? You guys are good over there? You hear?
Can you hear us okay? Do we need mics?
Okay,
All right.
great. Let us know.
Let us know if we're failing our job as actresses and not projecting. Who's next?
Okay, thanks. It was really nice to talk to you.
How many of you here are interested in being performers of some kind? Okay.
Kind of.
Kind of. How many of you are interested in animation or graphic arts or drawing or okay? How many of you are just lovers of gaming and that is the main reason, the main attraction here? So that gives us a better sense of what kind of questions you're here.
How many of you like tacos? Okay, just checking, because that's what Sombra eats.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. Now we can all be friends.
Yes.
And if you don't like puppies, you should just leave now before you tell me.
I did say tacos, but
Yeah.
puppies are,
I said
you know,
puppies.
okay.
I said
Okay,
puppies.
great.
Puppies.
Puppy tacos?
Yeah, hey.
Don't not so much the puppy tacos. Not okay with me.
Puppy serving
Not okay with me. Well then, again, feel free to jump in with any questions that you might have about yes or no.
Did they tell you from the beginning that Symmetra was going to be on the autism spectrum? And
That's
when
crazy.
They did, like, how did it feel to finally like be a voice for that?
What's your name?
Justin.
Justin was asking, did they tell me in advance that Symmetra was going to be on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum, and what were my feelings about that once it was announced? No, it was not something that was told to me early on. There were different aspects of her personality early on that actually gave me a suspicion that she might be somewhere on the very high functioning end of the spectrum just based on her character description, but I thought I was making it up in my head. And then when the comic came out, when they sent out the comic A Better World, early on, and there were some allusions to her being on the spectrum, I thought, oh, okay, maybe they are very lightly touching on that. And then when it was confirmed by Jeff Kaplan a few months ago, I think it was a few months ago, it just reaffirmed sort of what I already knew. And I had asked Michael, the head writer, the king of the world.
The only writer.
The king of writer. The king of writing Overwatch. The king of Overwatch, really.
King of Writerland.
The king of Writerland. That's his technical name.
Yep.
I had asked him about a year ago if it had been confirmed. And he said, no, I don't think we've ever really confirmed that. And then he came back to me, he's like, no, wait, now that I think about it, I think we definitely confirmed that. So everybody was, I think they had touched on it so lightly, but didn't want to be very, when you announce something that specific about a character, it's hard for people not to say, oh, that's this character. And so I like the fact, first of all, you asked me how I feel about it. I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. Because much like people of different races and different sexual orientations, different backgrounds of all kinds, I think representation in today's society is so important. It's so important that people see themselves, whatever aspect it is of themselves, see that represented in society in some way, shape, or form. And the fact that we see people who are superheroes representing those parts of their personality is huge.
Yes.
Because it helps us all see the hero in ourselves. If you see that on the screen and you see that character dominating the game, you're like, I have that within me. And I think autism and people on the spectrum are widely misunderstood. I think a lot of people's initial introduction to autism was Rain Man, and people thought it's either that or quote unquote normal. And there's a reason it's a spectrum. There are people all along. One of my dearest friends is on the spectrum, and he has 3 master's degrees. So for people to be differently abled and still see the amazing things they can accomplish because they see themselves represented by a powerful character is really, really fantastic and important. So I'm thrilled about it. I'm also thrilled that it's only one aspect of who she is, that it's not something that they've made define her any more than her ethnicity, any more than anything else. In this game, everybody's actions define them. Everybody's choices define them, not who they were born as, not the circumstances
it's not something
they were
they
born
focus
into.
on. It's
Exactly.
just something they like,
Exactly.
oh, by the way.
It's not the, oh, she's the this one, you know? Except like maybe she's the one with the turrets that kills everybody. Like there's that, you know? There's that. But again, that's about
She can melt
abilities.
4 tanks, no
That's
problem.
about abilities, and that's about superpowers. And in a game like this, that makes perfect sense.
They never told me Sombra was Latina. I mean, I just started recording it now.
What a coincidence that her name is in Spanish.
It's like personally, I thought she was German.
These lines.
Right. I thought she was German the whole time I was recording, and then they just, they came out saying she was Mexican. I was like, oh, cool. You know?
Yeah.
It's like I never would have guessed.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that's funny.
that's true.
It didn't make
That's
sense
true.
for some people because Anna's Egyptian, so why
Right,
would
right.
You never know.
Welcome. There's some chairs over
Yes,
here.
if you wanna
feel
pull
like
up, please
there's
grab
2
the
right
chairs.
there that you're totally welcome
I'm
to.
sure we could ask for more.
Yeah. We
got 3 over
here. We were,
Yeah, there
we
we
were
go.
trying to make it all kumbaya and comfortable in here, and hopefully we didn't mess up the
And I hate that song. So
I know, that's why I keep saying it, because it's
know.
really bad for that. I like to annoy her.
she does.
I like to bug her a lot. She hates me. She hates
I'm
me.
touching you.
You had a question.
Yes. So, out of your entire careers as voice actresses, what is your favorite roles that you've played?
As voice actresses or as actresses, period? Because I think,
I think I'd say voice actresses.
oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Sombra.
yeah, hands down.
Yeah. I mean, and this is also the biggest
Right.
voiceover role I've done. I've done a lot of voice work, but this is like the most prominent character that you can play and that will keep going. So yeah, definitely this is the most fun and the most badass, and I feel really proud to play her, and it's just a lot of good things rolled into one.
Yeah. I think especially the fact that there's so much complexity in these characters and a little bit of ambiguity as to whether they are good or evil and whose side they are on. Maybe a little bit less with Sombra. She's not quite as ambiguous. But she's
good.
she's Switzerland. She's neutral.
Totally.
No. But I think the fact that they make all of these characters so complex, and that everyone, even if they have actions that don't look like a good guy would do them, there's a reason behind it that makes sense. So there's a complexity that's a lot like real life. Everything is not black or white, it's gray. And that's a really, as a voice actor, you don't always get to dive into something like that, because a lot of times in animation or in video games or whatever, the character is either good or bad, and that's that. Whereas in this game, we have lots of shades. Which is really
Like
fun.
people.
Just like
we're,
people.
we're good and bad.
None about you. I'm just
I'm the best girl.
yes.
Just so she didn't know.
most of the characters in Overwatch, they kind of have allies, enemies, and foes. But Symmetra, she's just kind of neutral. She doesn't have any allies, but she does have some foes. She is opposed to Lucio, and for his views and her views. So if you think when Symmetra were to be friends with someone or find a friend, what do you think their traits would be, or what character do you think they would have to be?
Interesting. Great question, Nick. Just so you guys can hear what Nick said, he was asking, since there are so many allies and friends and foes in the game, and certain people are aligned with certain people, but Symmetra is sort of separate from that right now. She doesn't have a lot of interactions in the game. Who would I, if I were to offer my opinion, think she would connect with and what would their traits be? Is that a good? First of all, I just have to say as a disclaimer, neither one of us is an official Blizzard employee, or we're not official Blizzard spokespeople. So when it comes to the story, our opinions are totally our
Opinions,
own.
yeah.
It's really as if we were just playing the game with you guys, and that's what we would say too, because we genuinely know as much as you guys actually probably know more than we do. about our
Definitely know
characters,
more than we
but we
do.
genuinely don't know very far in advance about things that are coming out, as evinced by what I said about finding out when Symmetra, it was announced that Symmetra was autistic. I don't even think, quite frankly, that the way you described it, that Symmetra is against Lucio. It's just that because to her everything is very logic-based, not so much like she's a Vulcan or something, but she's very logic-based and very everything needs to be for the cause of order and for the cause of harmony. And so she sees his actions and thinks that's not contributing because your way is anarchy. I think that's how I interpret it, at least. So in terms of her allies, I think it's hard to say who in the game it would be because they have isolated her a lot, and I think they've sort of done that on purpose. But as far as characteristics, definitely someone who is on the side of progress would be someone that she would ally with. She's not interested in destruction for destruction's sake. Again, in the comic, they bring that up.
Yeah, she's very like.
She doesn't kill people unless she has to.
Mercy.
She doesn't. Yeah, Mercy would probably be a good ally, I would imagine, because Mercy makes sense. It's logical to help people and heal them and to take care of that makes sense. But just basically people who are efficient and powerful and on the side of progress, on the side of the greater good.
Same thing kind of goes like Sombra, because Sombra's also standalone, but I guess because she works for herself, she blackmailed like having first guy and all that stuff. But if she were to have friends, that would be great.
Gabe.
I mean, yeah, I think that they're like the underground buddies, Yeah, a little bit rebel, totally. Oh, okay. Should we just use the mics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't fall down.
Thank you.
Someone leave a question quick.
Just judge.
No one's on the board.
Guys, stare at them until they think we're judging.
Wow, thanks.
Good job, Dad.
Oops.
All right, well, maybe we'll walk around. Let's see what we can do.
They just abandoned us?
You guys, we thought we were so good. I know,
I'll just say it wasn't my fault.
I got
All right. Next.
Yes.
I would, but I don't know what line they're going to.
Because she was one of the newer characters, and Symmetra got in the game with everyone else. It's actually kind of like a 2-in-1 thing. First off is, were you with the team since the start, or since someone was new to it, add you on later? Later. And second one is, if so, how did it feel for you to be thrown, you and your character actually be thrown in the game after everyone else? Because I feel like that would have given you like extra judgment, to both the performance of the character itself in the game and to you as a voice actress. Since everyone's like, oh my god, the new character, Sombra this, Sombra that. How did that feel? How did that affect you?
Okay, well, first of all,
Did you guys hear that okay?
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't know what Overwatch was because I'm not a gamer. And a lot when I've worked with other video games like GTA 5 and Max Payne, as we're working on the game, they never tell us the name of the game. So we're working with these characters. We don't have the names of any of the characters we're playing. So we signed these non-disclosure agreements that we can't talk about it until the game comes out. So when I auditioned for this thing called Noche for Blizzard, but they never said it was for Overwatch. And I just assumed it would be like other characters I voiced and other things, and I won't know what it is until it comes out. So I didn't even care to research it, not as a bad actress or like a non-responsible actress, but just like, I'm not gonna find out anything because it's all super secretive, So I did start recording later. I started recording in mid-August. But they had been working on Sombra and everything she was since the beginning. Michael explained that they didn't launch Sombra together with the other original, however many they were, because like her package didn't work well with like the full set of the heroes. So they just kind of delayed her, coming out, her unveiling, as they call it, and. So where am I going with this? So yeah, so I didn't know that they had been working on her, like the ARG stuff. I didn't know any of that was happening because for me it was just like I'm recording something. She comes out in November, and that's all I know. So I did a bunch of recording sessions, which they just kind of they showed me a picture of her and said she was really badass. She was kind of like Jessica Jones, and I had already kind of given them like the accent that I thought was good for her, and they liked it, and so we did all that. So then when I went to BlizzCon in November, and they did the whole she's hacking the screen. I don't know if you guys saw that, but okay. Whoa, yay! I was sitting in the audience. I'm sitting with a friend, and then the screen goes, and I'm like, oh, I think that's me. Like I recorded that, and then like she's like, she comes up, and like everyone's like, oh my god, yeah! And I was like, holy cow, that's so, like I had no idea that everybody was ready for her, that people were like expecting her to come out. You know what I mean? Like I just thought that like
You were more in the dark than we were.
oh, totally. Like I was so in the dark. And so then finally when it was out, I was just like, oh my god. So it was a huge surprise. Like everything was a huge surprise. And honestly, because as actors we work on film projects all the time that either go nowhere or the movie never makes it to commercial theaters or they do a terrible editing job so you're not even proud of it. So this time I was like, you know what, I'm doing this voice. My agent said she might recur, as in like we might do more sessions and record stuff with her, but they never really explained this is a big deal character that kind of goes with the whole game. So I was just like, you know what? When she comes out, I'll see what happens. Like I didn't want to get all, happy and excited about it and then find out that it was like not as exciting as it could have been. So for me, it was just all like this awesome thing. Did I answer all your questions?
Yeah,
Cool. So yeah, and I'm still like, what? Why do so many people like Overwatch? What? People tweeting and stuff. Like to me, that's all crazy.
Oh,
Crazy
so
amazing.
Crazy amazing, yeah.
oh, so you had like no idea that there were so many videos before Sombra came out. Like
No,
I think
nothing.
Sombra's this character, and then she turns out to be a character that no one ever saw before.
Yep, no.
Did you know that when the game first came out, she was teased because there was a newspaper on the floor that says Kiana
Yeah.
Sombra.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, after she came out, and then they started asking the ARG. I'm like, what's the ARG? What?
Yeah.
So that's when they were like, oh, we did all this preamble.
It's a new
and
pirate
like,
character.
oh, and so I saw the newspaper thing, and then some gamer zoomed in on the picture of Katya Volskaya booping her daughter, and then but I didn't know all that stuff at all, so I feel like I found stuff out through the fans and the gamers because, you tweet stuff at me and then I kind of end up learning more that way.
You should have seen when she got really tweeted. I didn't know anything that was happening either. And suddenly, like 500 friends messaged me, "Oh, Sandro, this is in Spanish. I don't know what this is. Translate it right now. It's Sombra. Help me."
Right.
It means Sombra. It's Overwatch. Wait, I just got the game yesterday. Help.
By the way, I swear to God, I'm not racist.
That's why your character's one of my favorite.
Oh, cool.
It's like, oh my god, I can't understand both these languages. This is a new thing. Everyone's going to me for help too. She looks really cool.
That's the character I started playing with, and actually Overwatch is the first video game I played hardcore. He has been playing for years, and then hello, and then this is cool because it's something that grown-ups and kids can
Yes.
together.
That's what I love about it.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's so great to hear. And that's what we were talking about representation.
Yeah.
When you hear someone speaking your language, when you have a language other than English as well, there is a kinship. There is a feeling of that's me, that's my people, that's us.
Like when someone says like you gotta kill, you go pobrecito.
Right.
It's so much cooler if you're Spanish because like that's such a diss.
Yeah, totally. Yep. Exactly.
Did I see someone? Yes.
So, let's say theoretically that there would be a new animation coming out, Zarya versus Sombra. Who do you think would win that?
Wow. That's kind of
Hypothetically, I have no idea if that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But dude,
Can't hack through the bubble though.
Sorry?
I don't know if you've seen the banner, but it always shows Zarya just grabbing Sombra in five.
She has to get to Sombra first.
That's true.
That's true, yeah.
Brains versus brawn, baby.
And she's full attack too, so.
Right.
Exactly.
No, I know.
Can't hack through the bubble. The bubble of justice.
You can have it before the bubble.
Is that
Hey, 1v1 me.
I'm sure you know. Sombra had
The stage right there. Stage right.
she had another life. Which one? Why do you think they chose Volvamos Luces instead of that?
But they still have a.
She doesn't say Volvamos la Medianoche in the game.
Oh.
It got cut out. They chose
See?
Volvamos Luces
I didn't
instead.
know that. I have no idea. My
Well,
friend.
I guess it just does sound.
Apagando las
Turning off
luces.
the lights.
That's different than volvamos a la medianoche. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have the code here
Oh, look.
because someone found it. Someone found it in the files.
Oh, in the
Amazing.
file.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I see it.
Wait.
That's you. Does sound
No,
like
that's
you.
not. That's not someone impersonating me. Welcome. Feel free to like raise your hand. Ask questions, chip in.
Please, because
Or we'll just
Ask
sing
away.
Kumbaya.
she loves that song so much. Yes, yes.
I'm sure you probably get this a lot at things like this, but as far as voice acting, like, what do you think is the best way to actually get into it?
That's such a good question. I wish I had a better answer than what I have.
But what's crazy is there's no point A to point B, and there's no like, this is where you go. You go to this website, you sign up, and then Overwatch context. Because I wish there was. I swear to God.
I do the
But
voice for the training bot.
like really, it's a crazy thing. We've just loved acting since I was very young, and so. Since I was 21 and I graduated college, I've been auditioning and I've done really bad student films and I've done all these projects and like one thing leads to the other. So for us, it's like any career where you get a first job and then you move up from an intern to an assistant, then to a manager. That's kind of the thing. There's websites where you can like start applying for jobs, but you should get a demo reel together, which means you've got all these little characters recorded on there. I would suggest starting with a class, a voiceover class, just because a teacher can like guide you better in like what your voice is good at doing. Like I'm not gonna try to do a ditzy cheerleader because my thing is like Sombra characters that are a little more dark. I don't know. So I just think it's like what's your voice quality and what can you do with it. It's kind of understanding that and training, how to use it properly to not because the voice tires out even though
blow your voice out easily. And as a singer, I definitely notice a big difference. Going from theater to this has probably been really helpful in that when you're used to speaking in front of 1,000 people, 8 shows a week, you lose your voice a lot less than you might if you're not used to doing that. So that's helpful, having endurance. But piggybacking on what Carolina said, I would say taking a class where they give you an introduction to the different kinds of voice acting that you can do.
Yeah.
There's a different set of skills for audiobooks. There's a different set of skills for animation. There's a different set of skills for video game. There might be a different set of skills. There's a different set of skills for commercial copy. Stuff like that. And even in your demo reels, you'll have a commercial demo reel, you'll have audiobook demo reel, stuff like that. So taking an intro class that will give you a sense of what each of those things are. So not only are you learning about them, but you're learning which one you are actually drawn to or actually suited to. Because some of us are just suited more, to others. Some of us are like the guy at the movies who's like, back in the day, when blah, blah, blah. Like some people
You should do that.
I told you.
Have you guys seen that movie? Blah 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
She does it.
Coming to theaters
Yes.
this summer.
Yes.
Coming to theater.
I sound like rock. But and also just playing with your voice and seeing what you're able to do. Checking out your funny
Talk to
voices.
yourself a lot.
Talk to yourself a lot. Play with
Really.
characters, stuff like that. I think that's helpful in terms of your artistry. In terms of the business, a class would be a great place to go. Also, Crispin Freeman, who voices Winston, has a great website, great podcast. If you look him up online, it'll be super easy to find.
Yeah.
And
He literally has podcasts like step by step how you can
he's just
get more into it.
it's a great resource. And he's done a million voiceovers, so he's
Like
a great guy.
literally 200.
He's a great guy to talk to get information from. Now that we have the interwebs.
Yeah.
It's
Also, I
easy
think starting
information.
locally is a great thing.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I moved to New York when I started acting, so that's where I started. But you know, I met some people recently in Austin and Houston that do voiceover work there. So like, search online if there are recording studios in. I don't know if you guys are from here or where you live. Philly,
Delaware. So
Delaware.
basically
Okay.
a giant dance.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
because of the interwebs now, we can seek out things a little farther thanks to technology. You can take a voiceover class online. I'm sure
Yeah.
that exists. You know, so check out Crispin's podcast to give yourself a sense of those things, and then start, you know, spreading your wings a
Spreading
little
your
bit.
wings like Marseille.
And finding out what agents are nearby, finding out what recording agencies might.
You know what I used to do as a kid? Like I'd imitate a lot of like my mom had a German friend and she'd be like, "Would you like some strawberries?" And I would say strawberries, and my mom's like, "Don't imitate her in front of her," you know. Or like even now, like if I meet an Aussie, I'm like, "Ooh, you want some tuna?" And I'll start repeating it, and they'll be like, "Don't make fun of me." And I'm like, "I'm not. I'm actually trying to learn your Australian accent." That's how I started learning British. That's how, you know. So like I imitate Mercy all the time. Did somebody call a doctor? Because or welcome to my reality. You know, like if we start doing that, then it just you start getting a knack for it. I think that it's really like playing by yourself and seeing what your mouth does.
Yeah, you know, and
Sorry. But
Look,
you know what I'm saying
I was not gonna say
is
anything.
we are actors. We're crazy. Just talk to yourself.
Yeah. And also, don't limit yourself. This is going to sound weird what I'm about to say, but don't limit yourself to imagining what your voice sounds like as a human. Try to imagine, okay, if I was the voice of this
Like a robot.
sparrow, what would it be?
Or like a little bit of an animal. Would I talk like this? This could be an entire character voice and no one would know it was me when they looked at my face.
Like if you
Or
look
like
at-
if he's 6 and a half and he likes to play soccer.
Totally.
I don't know.
Well, or what about her brother?
Like the little stuffy nerds that talk like this the whole time.
Is it bad that I can't actually handle this right now?
But you wouldn't know you could do that if you didn't
I feel like it's
play.
bad.
You gotta play. You gotta play and be silly a little bit because we're kind of silly people. Yeah.
And I never thought I'd be doing a voice in a video game. Like I started auditioning for voiceovers, and I think I did some McDonald's in Spanish and Burger King. Like I do a ton of Spanish commercial voiceovers. So you just never know like what path is gonna, you know, what's gonna kind of explode.
Yeah. I think my first voiceover gig was the disclaimer on Tosh.0 in Hindi.
Oh my god.
Like, okay, that's a thing.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
We had a question over here.
Warning, do not watch this
You
with
put
your
on your
parents.
sunglasses because it was too
did-
bright. Yeah, I thought you were putting it on. It's okay.
I thought it was
It's okay. I know it's a little
Yeah,
bright.
yeah.
If you want to detach your seat and turn it this way.
Oh, you can't
more than
detach
welcome
those.
to.
It's all awkward. Just find the little.
Yeah. You just gotta have to like lift it. There you go. You got it. You're on it. Almost. We're all
Something
on
like
it.
that.
I think we're stuck together.
Aww. Anyone else have questions? Do you have a question? Oh yes, great.
Mainly because there's a question in the back of my mind. Have you ever received any hate for what your characters can do? Mainly for
Yes,
Symmetra.
next question.
Well, I mean, that's what I wanted.
Yeah, and that happens because, you know, don't hate the player, hate the game. You know, like you're like, okay, the character is. If I'm gonna microwave you,
She's
you're
okay.
gonna go into my
You
car
can say
wash,
it,
the
she's
car's gonna
okay.
get clean. Like it's not my fault. But you don't really take it. You know, you don't take it personally.
all
It's
right.
a character. So yeah, that happens.
So Ashton has a voice actor, right?
It does.
Have you guys met him?
No.
Or her?
Oh yeah, I have not.
Or actually? Oh wait. Hang
It's
on
a
second.
computer on a desk.
Hang on a second.
Blizzard engineered the voice of
Obviously, they
that.
put it through some
It's a
thing.
beat pop.
His name is Chris something or
Chris
other.
Manson, I wonder if he's actually just a Blizzard. Yeah, he's look at this. He works for Blizzard, so I don't know if it's actually his voice or if he created the. The answer is we don't know the answer to that question. The answer is we don't know.
You're welcome.
But wasn't that the best animated short? Oh my god.
It's the first animated short that actually made me feel bad for a character I hate.
How many of us cried watching that short? Anyone? Feel get a little teary, get a little like
Somewhat close.
laugh. Do you not have a heart? Noted.
Is it the part where he shoots up the forest?
My favorite character is Sombra. Why would I have a heart?
Dude, Sombra has a heart.
Yeah.
Those are fighting words if they start scrap and I have my phone here.
Yeah. Oh, we also have one over here. Oh,
Unfortunately, the first time I saw that video was the Love Smash.
I suggested avocado and Lucas, and they said no.
So I,
I always say it's like picking your favorite children because it's so hard.
I mean, you need to stop. We don't really have input on the lines. I have since then, since Sombra came out, I've suggested a few things to Michael, the writer, that like Latinos say. So I'm just like sana que sana colita de rana. Like I think that could be funny, just because, whatever, healing packs and all that stuff, and it's something that Latinos say all over South America. So like stuff like that maybe culturally I'm aware of. I know that May, for example, we don't write any of our lines. They write them all. Yeah. But May in the recording session kept saying, "Oh, sorry."
yeah.
And then they were like, "We're gonna use this for real."
Yeah.
So
I heard
it
about
wasn't
that.
a lie. You know, she'd make a mistake and she'd say sorry.
that was
She's
in
so
the Did You Know
adorable,
game.
and then that turned into an actual line. So.
Pretty sure.
But yeah, go ahead with your favorite lines.
Right now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty happy about the car wash line. Pretty happy about that.
Starting up the car wash or something like that.
For the longest time, You Will Not Miss Favorites was one of my favorites because it's like the most elegant diss. It's like did she just say something awful about me? Because it sounded really nice and elegant, but it's a really awful thing to say.
It's like, wow, I'm hurt, but
that's
that was,
kind of
thank
what I
you.
feel
That was really polite, the way you said
I'm
it.
not going to kill you.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Toying with someone.
relax. And that, like, it's kind of like it's her personality all rolled into one.
Right.
That's one of my favorites.
But at the same time,
Not much.
I can't pick a favorite. I really can't pick a favorite yet.
Guys, we recorded like 400. It's hard to remember them.
We record a ton of lines at a time, and then we forget them.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times when people are asking us to do a voice line, I'm like, which one? I'm like, do whichever one you want. I'm like, I have to look it up.
Yeah.
The I Am on Fire one.
I Am on Fire is pretty fun.
I love it.
I like that too.
You say that?
Yeah.
I say, I am on fuego.
And then you say,
she goes, I can't believe I
Yeah,
did it.
She also has the
I know, that's
I'm
good.
on fire, touch me and you get burned. That's
Yeah,
one of my
that's
favorite ones.
another one. Yeah. But yeah, so that I Am on Fire is kind of fun too. I'm trying to think what other ones. I like Kindly Adjust because it's very Indian to say that. Kindly Adjust, like step off. It's the Indian version of step off. Is what that is. So it just threw a little bit of Indian flavor in there, which I did.
I might have done some editing.
That's good. Yeah. So many. So said there was
oh, wait, no, did you ask me a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, because you mentioned Reinhardt earlier, I just want to know what it's like being around Darren DePaul.
He's amazing! We love him!
Favorite person in the world.
He is the sweetest pair of a human being. Just absolutely nothing but love.
I could tell.
He's just, yes, exactly. Just really like squeeze him, pinch his cheeks, even though he's super
It's funny, even before meeting Johnny like properly, I just assumed he was kind of like Lucio, and he kind of is.
And
just
there's
like high
totally-
energy and blah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
It's been really fun to hang out with.
Everyone loves Sombra's new voice line too. She goes, I need a drink.
Oh,
I'm ready for that drink. Yeah.
ya estoy lista para ese trago.
I love that.
Yes.
That's why I did a video with this. Did you guys see it? I had a friend sent me a Sombra mezcal. It's called Sombra. Like that's the name of the like tequila, but mezcal. Anyway, so I feel really happy. It's a huge bottle. I won't drink it all by myself, but Sombra I think has little shots of mezcal every once in a while. Yeah.
When Sombra, when you had to do voice acting, you had to learn a bunch of Spanish codes from like around the road, like Aviento Juarez, stuff like that. How did you, like, it's like, I remember like I watched an interview you did with Hammy,